Welcome to another Quantum Conversation. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. In our Quantum Conversation Summit Series, Energy Healing and Well-Being. Today, we are with medical intuitive and galactic consciousness medicine expert, Suzy Woo. Get ready, hold on to your hats, because we're going to be talking about the chakras. We're going to journey through the chakras. We're going to learn about what they do, why they're important, and how they're related to energy healing. This is a fascinating topic, and it's us. Hi, Suzy. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
Greetings. I'm so excited to present today.
We're excited because as we're talking about energy healing and the chakras, and I said, this is us, our chakras really are energy centers. So when we're talking about energy healing, how are the chakras connected to that? And what is energy healing?
The chakras, you could think of them like batteries. So you have to keep your batteries charged. They're rechargeable kind. A chakra is very, very simply put, a spinning vortices of energy or a wheel of light. And we have over 100 chakras in and around our body, but we focus on the main 7 that follow the spine. How they relate to energy healing is, think of them like instruments, and like in the beginning of Sgt. Pepper's, when you hear the band warming up, or any concert where you're able to hear the sound check, they're bringing their instruments into tune. So when we have an event that happens that jostles our day, it kind of throws us out of balance or out of tune. Now, depending on your level of consciousness, you may either stay in that mode and now it's like messed up your day, or if you're very resilient and self-aware, you recenter and regroup, and it's okay. And you can kind of like and go about your day.
Okay, so this is really important. So I just want to share a quick story. I remember a friend of mine who lived next door to me experienced a situation where there was an altercation, just a little fender bender in a parking lot, and the other person was quite upset, and this made her upset. And so intuitively, instinctively, I just said, okay, spin your chakras, just go through each one of them and spin it out. When she did that, she never heard from this person who was very irate and was threatening to, come back at her and whatever. So isn't that interesting? She took care of herself, spinning her chakras, not knowing what she was doing, but she reported that it worked, that her energy centered, but then the other lady never came back and bothered her. Isn't that fascinating?
I love that. And just imagine, like, when a dog comes out of a bath and they shake, and just to spin it out. So like, it's kind of like something comes in there, but you're spinning your chakra so fast, it goes whoop. The way that you described that was the vision that I had. Very cool.
All right, so let's talk about how we can detect imbalances in our chakras. And I know we're going to do a journey through each of the chakras, but it's start with this presentation on each of the chakras and really how they're related to our overall system and our psyche and consciousness.
Great. Well, our root chakra is the first to actually be formed. And that happens when you are still in utero. So if your biological mother was not in a good way, if there was a lot of arguing or a lot of stress, anxiety, drugs and alcohol, and it was sustained for a little bit, that is getting pumped into your nervous system even before you're completely formed. And then when the baby is born, they used to say, oh, don't spoil the baby, let the baby cry. Well, that's actually the worst thing you can do, but because that is furthering the feeling that I am not wanted, I am not needed, my needs will not be met, everybody else is more important than I am. And of course, you know, an infant is not trying to manipulate you. An infant cries because it has a need, and it may only be that they need to be held, which is very, very important. So what happens as an adult, because this is your foundation. So you think if you're building a house and you need to pour a nice concrete pad, you need to have a super strong foundation because the rest of your chakras are built on that foundation. So it does have to do with survival and food, shelter, clothing, health, and wellness. Will my needs be met? So what happens when we don't have a healthy root chakra, which most people don't, because we don't come with user manuals. So what happens is as we mature, we work and we work 1 billion hours a week. And no matter how much we work and how much we are pouring ourselves out, it's never enough. So we suffer from not enoughness. Do I even belong here? So people who are always saying all the time, oh, I'm sorry, may have been told that they weren't wanted when their mother was pregnant with them. And they feel guilty for simply existing. So just right out of the gate, that is going to be that root chakra. And just like, well, you know, Roy G. Biv, The Colors of the Rainbow from fourth grade science, those are the corresponding colors, bandwidths, and frequencies of each of those energy centers. And each one also correlates with a note on the scale in music. So cool. So depending on where each of those are vibrating, it's going to be whether you hear it audibly, whether you see it in the color red, which is the root chakra, and you think, danger, danger, red flags. The red is intensity. It means danger, look out. So when we have an imbalanced root chakra, we feel in danger. And the blood rushes to our legs, and we may get tunnel vision or panic or anxiety. So we want to have, it's very important to have a strong base, a strong foundation before any of those other chakras become online, let's say.
You know, that makes so much sense. And it's really interesting that most people do not have a solid root chakra. And as you were sharing about, I just want to go back because as you were sharing about, you know, like babies being left to cry. In my own experience, as I was a young mother, you know, you read the books and you're like, okay, close the door and let the baby cry to sleep. I think I did that one night, only one night, because that did not resonate with me. I said, y'all may be saying that, but in my heart, that does not feel right. It does not feel right to leave a baby crying.
I
So
agree.
thank you for
Yeah,
that
they have a
validation.
need.
Right.
It's
Okay.
not to manipulate you.
Right. Yeah. And we're not, and by giving into that, wow, we're just giving our love and wow. Okay. So then we can heal these root chakras then. All right, let's continue
Yes.
on because I know that we're going to go into how to kind of correct and balance them out. So let's continue to the next chakras.
Okay. So then the next one comes online when we are having that awkward pre-puberty stage. We start getting pimples and hair on our bodies, and we're feeling very awkward. So those of us who did not have a stabilized root chakra, now we're feeling all kinds of awkward stacked on top of that. So if the root chakra is the seat of survival, the sacral chakra, the color is orange, and I think, or you can think Home Depot, creative, builder. This is the seat of your creativity, and it's also the seat of your emotions. So that root chakra is survival, which also means money. So if you have money problems, it's your root. But now we're into the orange color. And you could also think of what color do you love and what color do you despise? It's directly related to that chakra. So the sacral chakra, again, the color is orange, the root is C, the sacral is D, and that is the seat, again, of our emotional body, our emotional temperament, our creativity. People who have writer's block or they can't create, It's sluggish there. So in this area of our body, we hold guilt and shame if we had passive aggressive parents or caretakers or teachers. Why do you think it's okay for you to have that candy bar? Your sister did so good in school and you were tardy. So it's that kind of guilt, that shame. I don't deserve, I'm not worthy. This is where that lives. So when I look at somebody's sacral chakra, it usually appears, if it's not in balance, it usually appears to me as like a muddy brown or a muddy, murky orange, and it feels heavy. And it's emotional burden is what's going on. Not good enough. And I never got on my father's radar, or my mother never told me that I was pretty. It's emotion. So they're, feeling worthy to have things. So therefore, we're never going to ask. And if you never ask, the answer is always no. So if we have too much energy, if it's overcharged, then we're going to go home with every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the bar because we want to feel something, even though we still have that hollow inside. And if it's not enough, we might get clingy. Wait, don't go, because that's an abandonment wound. It's a relationship wound. It's also getting taken away from your caretakers too early. So the feel of like being ripped away and you weren't ready. And that's kind of why I actually don't feel that the whole thing of starting kids in preschool at like 3, personally, I don't think that's healthy. Although this chakra area comes online again around pre-puberty. So that's when we become very self-aware. We don't know how to feel. We start seeing people develop, oh, they have a crush on this boy or this girl, and I don't know how I feel. Is it even okay to ask if they like it? It's this very insecure, unstable field to navigate. And when it's healthy, that means I feel safe, because this is also safety. So feeling safe in my own skin. So people who may have been picked on, for example, I have natural curly hair and I've been called every racial slur in the book. So to prevent that, I straightened my hair, and then I was called other slurs. And when I used the hair straightener, my hair started to fall out and I've never recovered. And that was when my sacral chakra was developing, and I was going through those teen years very insecure about myself. And now I'm on the other side of that today. But that's an example of when it's undercharged or overcharged and how it might make us feel.
Yes, the imbalances then of that sacral chakra. Okay. Let's continue because there's more. So as they build on each other, do the energies get stuck? Is the energy supposed to go up and flow? And can they get stuck if there's an imbalance in one?
Energy gets stuck in those areas. And when it wells up over a period of time, it'll result in physical impairment. So
Mm.
if so the last time I had a regular job, it was at the IRS. So it's not fun, not creative, not woo-woo, not anything. So if I would have stayed in that job, that's root chakra, because it's putting food on the table, but I didn't like the job. So
Mhm.
that's not alignment. So if I would have stayed in that job, I would have either blew out my lower back, because sciatica is a root chakra issue, or get in a car accident going to work. So the universe will step in and create situations for you to rethink this to help you to make a conscious choice. So residue gets stuck in those energy centers. So I kind of think of it like Velcro. So when you, let's say you had an overbearing mother who didn't get to realize her self-worth, and so she's kind of putting the screws to you, well, you'll never have that because she didn't have that. And guilting and shaming, now I don't feel that I'm ever safe to ask anybody out, nobody would ever want me. That lives in the sacral chakra. And so to me, it's like residue. I could either vacuum it out, or if it's like Velcro and I take it off and it goes all the way up, and my method, I remove it out through the crown. But what happens is our reproductive system, no matter what gender you are, is impacted. Your your whatever pieces and parts you have, because each of the chakras is also oversees your anatomy. So and it also goes with astrology. So this would be Scorpio, and it rules over the genitalia. And when it's out of balance, we can use astrology and the constellations. We can use color, but we didn't get to that yet. But just saying.
Okay, really fascinating. All right, let's move on through the next chakra then.
Great. So the next one then is your solar plexus. The color is yellow. How much do you like yellow, or do you hate yellow? So yellow is the sunshine. It's the color of the happy face. Well, some people who are living in their own shadows don't like yellow, and don't like happy people because they're stuck in their own anger and their own issues. So when I look at somebody's solar plexus, this is who you think that you are, which has been given to you. Your caretakers, your family. You're part of this family. This is how we worship. This is how we eat. This is how we treat one another. This is how we treat our neighbors. And then you go to school. This is your rank in the class. This is my teacher, the teacher's opinion of you. All of this is layering on top of your divine light with identity. You are this, you are that, you're this family name, blah, 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 blah. So by the time now, so I'm having this itchy nose because you actually have some spirit guys that are chiming in. Now I just had to get that out of the way. Okay. So with that solar plexus, what I find is other people. So if you imagine a manhole on the road and you're underneath it looking up, I see other people, almost like a shadow or a silhouette of other people looking down into that manhole. And what that represents is who you are to me, those people up there. So all of the different hats that you wear, you are my wife, and these are the duties I expect of you, and this is the treatment I expect, and the way that you talk to me. So all of these identities that have been formed live there. So often it's so warped and twisted that the human being has no idea who they truly are. So we're walking through life. I don't know who I am. I'm who everybody else told me that I am, which is kind of mind-blowing to think of it. So sometimes I will actually detonate that chakra, and then their spirit guide will create a nice, clean, pristine, unadulterated version of them, which is who they were created to be. And we've blown up the version of them that they were conditioned to be. So I don't really like to use the word ego just because it's got such stuff around it, but I guess stigma, but it is who you think you are. So when that is nice and healthy, then you're balanced. I know who I am. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I can speak up for myself. I can have healthy conversations. But when it's too much, then it's like Gaston in Beauty and the Beast. And they throw their chest out and it's all about me. And when it's not enough, when it's undercharged, it's like you've gotten elbowed in the gut and you're hunched, which I used to be very hunched because you don't know who you are. And you might even have a smaller voice because a lot of energy, it can't make it up there. It's stuck down there. So it gets all congested. And my sense of self is confused and tainted, and it's diverted from my true self. So you want to think of a healthy, bright lemon yellow, and think of the happy sunshine for that energy center.
Wow. I'm learning a lot, and I know that, we're going to talk about healing these three areas, but I can say, wow, okay, lots of work to be done in these chakras, right? Does it get easier then as we move up? Now we're in the heart chakra. Tell us about this one.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So the heart is the most important of all the seven because it's the center. You've got three below and three above. The three below that we've just covered are all physical. They're very physical. It's in the body. It's my survival. It's my emotional temperament. It's who I think I am. Once you get to your heart, that's your little Merkaba. That's your little car. So you can bring your energy into your heart and you can have liftoff and you can go anywhere you want to. So the heart is extremely important, but it usually has the most damage because everybody has suffered through loss, grief, heartache, heartbreak, betrayal, withdrawal of love too soon. all of us have been through that. Everybody has lost somebody that was important. And also in the heart, it's how well do I love myself? How well do I let energy flow in and out of my heart? So here, I actually kind of split it a little bit into the left and the right. So your left is the yin, your receiving side, and the right is your yang or your masculine side. It's how you go after what you want in life. So in the heart energy, I am also a crystal healer too. So for the left, I definitely would go with something like a rose quartz because that color would be pink. But according to Roy G. Biv, the color of the rainbows, this is green. So for how I am able to issue love, how healthy is that? Really, it's going to be tainted by your self-concept. So all of them work off of and with one another at all times. They're getting bigger and smaller and adjusting constantly. So how well do you allow yourself to let people love you or even give you a simple compliment? Many of us were taught or trained, don't think about yourself. You're worried about everybody else. And that's, of course, unhealthy. So a healthy heart energy, I allow people to give me a compliment and I can accept it. It doesn't mean you need to agree. There's a difference. And then how am I able to issue love? Can I actually tell somebody I love them, or do I get all chopped up there because I'm messed up in my heart energy because I don't have a healthy understanding of what love is? So now, just like the root, most people's heart energy is scrambled, like a scrambled signal, because we had our home as our role models. And a lot of families just have chaos. And between the parents, they need to let the child see not only anger management, but reconciliation. I'm looking for a particular term. How to bring a situation down. Conflict resolution. Children need to be able to see conflict resolution. So, oh my God, my parents are fighting and I feel afraid and I go in my room and I hear them, and well, they need to know that it's okay because sometimes people don't get along. Sometimes people have different viewpoints. It doesn't mean they stop loving them. That's the missing part. So children need to be aware that it's okay if somebody just raises their voice a little bit. It's not okay if you're throwing something or shoving somebody. That is your example of what love is. So let's say, my parents played the role, but they actually were not amicable. And I thought my parents were gods, that they knew everything. So when I started a nonprofit, I assumed they knew everything there is to know, and they didn't. And I was so puzzled. So what's going to happen if you didn't have parents that truly loved each other, valued one another, and that they both together gave you unconditional love, which is different than you be a good girl, you get the good grades, and I'll get you the candy bar, or we'll go to the amusement, but that's conditions. Unconditional love means, okay, you stole from the store. If you needed something, you could have come to me and we could have worked it out. So it's being able to address maybe some sticky issues, but I still love you. I'm upset that you couldn't come to me because you wanted that and that you felt it was okay to steal it. But I love you still. I am not stopping loving you. Let's work through this together. So that's healthy, but most of us have not been demonstrated or shown through examples of unconditional love. We've been raised with conditions. So we've got pink for left, green on the right, rose quartz, green aventurine, or even malachite for your heart center. Too little, you feel unlovable. You're going to self-sabotage relationships because how could anybody love me? And I'm going to blow it up before it could even manifest. And if it's too much, then you're overbearing. You're super clingy. You're going through your partner's phone more than they are. That's too much. You're overcharged in your heart. You're overbearing. Helicopter parents, too much in the heart. I love you so much. But now it's like, where's the trust? You've got to give them a little bit of a longer lead.
Wow. Okay. Let's go on to the next one too,
All right.
because
So next up is our throat. So
Yeah.
clearly this is the center of love, giving and receiving. The next one, your throat chakra, I like to use the color sky blue. Um, Sky blue. Everyone knows that color. So this is the seat of communication. So this is always the classic example. People who don't speak up for themselves or who don't stand up for themselves, they've got tire tracks on their back, will eventually, over a period of time, develop a thyroid problem. Anything from the lower jaw to the upper shoulder, because this is the throat chakra area of coverage. Most people, actually, why it gets kind of jumbled and out of whack. One is anytime we've had to say an untruth, anytime that we have not been able to speak up for ourselves, or people are talking over us and interrupting all the time, it makes us feel that our voice doesn't matter. But the big one, the biggest crime is that inner dialogue. So even if you say under your breath, oh, I'm so stupid, don't do that, because your cells have consciousness and intelligence, and your cells will start getting depressed. And then you end up becoming depressed and you become disconnected from that unconditional love that is everywhere around you. So sky blue here. You want it to be nice and strong. It means I can say what I want to say. I don't mind if I need to interrupt somebody because I've got a sense of urgency with politeness. And my inner dialogue is healthy. I feel valued. I feel like what I have to say matters. So it's not needlessly filling space, because some people are terrified of the pause, and they will just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk very nervously to fill that space. I used to be like that. And now it's learning how to speak with purpose and speak with intention. So when you live from intention, everything changes. You become in alignment, and the right words come at the right time, and you develop a stronger voice. So because I spent 22 years in an extremely abusive relationship slash marriage, I lost my voice. And you, not literally, not physically, but energetically. I had no idea who I was, so I had pretty much no solar plexus, or it was pea size. And evidence is with using something like tuning forks. If I were to sound that tuning fork and bring it close to me, it would go silent, because that's how bad I lost my voice. So for demonstrations, I always pull somebody up, a volunteer, and I will sound the tuning forks. And as it gets closer, you can hear nuances to help you to understand this far ago is when you lost your voice, but maybe you've regained it back, and now close here, it actually resonates and makes sound. So people who don't have enough might have a teeny tiny whispery mousy voice because they don't have confidence. And again, they're all related. And if you have too much, you're talking too loud, you're talking over people, you're nervous talking to fill the space, which is still related to other chakras. And you're saying you're telling lies, or you are exaggerating because you don't know what your personal truth is, or you're afraid of the truth, or you avoid the truth. So all of that stuff is going to result in imbalances there.
Okay. Just looking around and applying what you're saying to people in our lives, and we're like, wow, okay, we're going to get to how we can balance these out and align them more. Let's go on to the next one.
All right. So our third eye chakra is it speaks to the pineal gland, which looks like a little polywog and is a little antenna. So it both sends and receives messages. So you are a walking antenna. Your thoughts are being projected from there, and you're also receiving there. I'm seeing the word transducer. So I've learned to just trust when I get words without Googling it. And so when actually, I don't know how to label this, Big Brother, let's say, or the systems in place do not want us to have a very free vibrating polywog in our head. So they do things like put fluoride in the water, and that calcifies this area, which makes it stuck and unable to transmit with clarity. Now we also have microcrystals in our inner ear, and vertigo can result when they're suspended or there's too much residue around them. The same with your pineal gland, your third eye chakra. So this is the seat of your imagination, your visual, your inner vision, but everyone's not clairvoyant. So it's your inner hearing, it's your whatever your strength is, but it's not the clear feeling, because that is in the body. That's your yellow battery there. So if you say I can imagine, so if I say, can you imagine a red fire engine? Some of you will actually hear the fire engine. Some of you might actually see the fire. Now, of course, it's not the same as looking at a red fire engine. You are imagining it. So because some people get so worked up that I'm not any of that, then I will say pretend, imagine. And usually that breaks that fear. So you can imagine any color. There's a very small percentage of people who really, truly cannot see. And you're not broken. You have other strengths and other abilities. So if you are undercharged here, you can't get projects off the ground because you can't conceive of seeing it all the way through. So you shoot yourself in the foot, you start something else, you start lots of something else's. You've got a great imagination. You're getting these good ideas, but it's not wiggling enough that you can conceive and follow through with it. Now, what really messes this area up, besides tap water, synthetic medicines, and but I also need to state that that can also be freed. I'm being told to not say the word healed for this. It can be freed so that it can move around again. And I'm also being asked to say the word chlorophyll. So this feels, yep, that's what I'm supposed to be saying. So chlorophyll is a healer of that area to help get that in the flow again. Also, totally lost my train of thought because I wasn't thinking that chlorophyll was really important, Spirit said. Okay, so when you don't have enough, we cover that. If you have too much, I know what I was going to say. What really messes it up is when you work second and third shift, because this rules over your circadian rhythm. So your night day sleep cycle, your light, the sunshine, and the dark. So this messes that up too. And the worst thing, besides being drunk, is somebody who is very sleep deprived getting behind the wheel. There's lots of research on that to support. It's similar or worse than being on drinking or drugs. It messes you up. So if you have vertigo, if you have a lot of tension, headaches, you're thinking too much. You're not allowing your intuition to ripple and give you some insights. You cannot problem solve and do math at the same time that you're receiving your intuition. And one of the best ways to receive that intuition is to take a nice bath or a shower or sit in the water, because water is a conductor of spiritual language. I absolutely love water. Now, what else do you have going on here? I think that's enough. I think we finished that. So the color is indigo, and I like to think of blueberries. So you can ingest, you can eat blueberries, you can bring the color. We'll talk about that after we get to the final chakra.
Wow, okay. And so the final chakra, the crown, this
Yeah,
is
so that one
yeah.
is not in our body at all. It's at the top of our head, and it is purple or violet, Roy Jabiv. So at the top of our head, my phrase for that, it's your bat phone to God. So you can imagine taking an elevator up and getting out into this purple ball, and you could pick up the phone and you could call your relative, your pet, your loved one, your spirit guides, whoever it is that you pray to or like to work with on a spiritual level. So now this is where we gotta mention people who have too much root, they're folding their arms and they don't trust anything or anyone, and they think hard work is everything. They're going to have a teeny tiny little crown. It's not moving at all because they're too much in this hard real world. So this is because they all work off of one another. So when it is open and healthy, your intuition is rippling away. And oh, all of a sudden I'm thinking about my mom. Oh, she's coming to me because it's near my birthday. Oh, but you're cut off from that if you're too much in your real hard effort world and you don't believe in any of that stuff. So people who don't have anything going on up here are not going to be watching this show. um, but to work on, or we're not going to go there yet. So when it's healthy and balanced, you may even be able to have an out of body experience. Astral travel is healthy going through there as long as you have your protections in place. A healthy crown. A lot of people's spirit guides hang out above and around the top of their head. You're able to pick up and receive broadcast. So these are very related. Your third eye and your crown are very related, but this is like ether. So it's not physical, it's ether. And so you can pick up sensitivities about people around you. You might forecast before something happens. It kind of has your finger on the pulse of the collective consciousness. You can go anywhere when you focus up here in your crown. A lot of people felt something big was going to happen right before 9/11. That's up here. And that is like a beautiful dome of energy around you that's always vibrating and trying to transmit information. But if you had a lot of fluoride, if you're using fluoride toothpaste, a lot of tap water or synthetics, medicine, it stores up here, including mercury in your fillings. It stores up here and you can't quite get it. And you feel disconnected, which can result in mania. So when these top two, now I don't believe you can have a blocked chakra. That doesn't, I don't support that. I feel overcharge and undercharge are appropriate. So if there's not enough, you don't believe in any of this stuff. And if there's too much, well, now you're in la la land. So you're not in the body, you're not paying your bills, you're not paying attention to your loved ones. You are just up here all the time. And that's not healthy either, because you need to occupy the physical body that you were born into. If you ignore this, then your body starts to suffer. It starts to decay. So you can't ignore any of them. It's about blending, harmonizing, and you can use so many different things to bring that into balance, which is what we're about to go into.
That's exciting because as you were talking about the crown, I felt a lot of energy, and that was really wonderful. And so I'm sensing that it's cool, that it's balanced and it's opened. So as we're looking around at our family members, looking around at ourselves and our relations, wow, we need to do some cleanup or some balancing of the charge, the undercharge and the overcharge. How do we do that?
Yeah. So use the colors, use the
Mhm.
sounds, use the foods. So again, I'm going to circle back about what is your favorite color, not what's in your wardrobe, because that's what you think you look the best in. So what is your true favorite color and what color can you not stand? So that's your first order of operations to let you know what you need to work on, what you need to bring in to bring it into balance. So many people do not like the color red. And some people feel threatened if other people wear red, and red is a power color. And again, it means danger because that's our programming, and it's a very short wave. So if you are somebody who really doesn't like red, then and you may not have a very strong root chakra. So you want to bring in anything that is red. Get red underwear, a red throw pillow where you hang out. Bring red in somewhere, but also you can ingest it. Beets, root vegetables, which are also our carrots, but beets is I feel is the best. You can also use dark red crystals like garnet, which is one of my favorite. Well, I'm surrounded by crystals. I'll just see if I had one handy. But garnet is a great root chakra crystal. So is black, actually. So black, dark red, bring in any shade of red. We can breathe. Actually, let's take 2 seconds and let's rest our eyes closed. And let's imagine you, let me turn on my indoor voice. Let's imagine you getting really small and going into the center of your whole body, like your spinal channel, and bringing your awareness all the way down to the root chakra, which its source is the Genesis cells. So this is actually the perineum between your legs. I like to also say the base of the tailbone, but this is where it is. So that whole area, how strong, how stable does that feel? Do you have lower back pain? Do you feel enough? Do you feel wanted? So let's imagine breathing in bright red into our root chakra. And we're going to breathe out lack, not enough-ness. We're going to breathe in more nice, healthy, bright red. And we're going to breathe out feelings of codependency on other circumstances to define us. We're going to breathe in healthy, bright red and see that ball between your legs getting bigger. Think of, you can breathe out now, bright red. Breathe in bright red into this area. Breathe out bright red. And think about maybe in kindergarten, those big balls with a handle on top that you could hop around on. As long as you're holding on to the handle, you're not going to roll off. So imagine your energy being nice and stabilized on one of these big old balls with a handle, and the ball is red, and it is filled with enoughness. You are enough. You belong here. Your soul chose to be here. So yes, you belong, regardless of your conception or your birth story. You belong here. You matter. And there's 4 beautiful pillars of red light coming up from the center of the earth, coming all the way up, feeding into the bottom of this ball that you are sitting on. You cannot fall off the face of the earth. Allow this energy to stabilize you. You are enough, and you've always been enough. There's no sense of urgency whatsoever. It is safe to exist. And take one more breathe in and out of deep red, bright red into your root chakra, and smile, because this is your truth. Yes, you're enough. And you can open your eyes. So now we've got a nice, strong, healthy foundation, and that ought to feel really good. Yeah, so let's even sound a solfeggio fork. I'm going to change my little setting here. Good. So tuning in with everybody, that feels like that was a really effective, simple exercise. So shall I just go through then? Okay, so now we've got a nice strong foundation as an adult. We're going to now visit the sacral chakra. The color is orange. So this is your reproductive anatomy. And it's just behind and just a little bit lower than your belly button. So breathe in and imagine yourself in this area of your body. What does it feel like there? Does it feel heavy? Does anybody come to mind? Somebody who may have made you feel guilty or shameful? What color does it feel? Does it feel like it's a healthy bright orange, or does it feel kind of brown? Let's breathe in a nice healthy Florida orange into the sacral chakra, and let's breathe out inadequacy. We're going to breathe in nice healthy bright orange, and we're going to breathe out lack of self-worth. We're going to breathe in nice happy orange energy, and we're going to allow ourselves to breathe out happy orange energy. And I'm going to sound a tuning fork. Okay, it's still a little bit buzzy, so there's some sharpness there. So continue to breathe in and breathe out healthy, bright orange into your sacral chakra, and allow yourself to feel, as I'm going to assist you, dissolving away some of this guilt. And this also speaks to you being able to want something. So pleasure. This is the seat of pleasure. And there is also the joy of sex. Not having sex just to have sex, but having the joy of lovemaking. So many of us are kind of messed up there too. It is safe to be in my own skin. I allow myself to feel safe in my body. Breathing in bright orange, and now breathing out healthy bright orange. And that did it. Very, very good. We're now going to move up just a little bit to the core. Who do you think you are? We're going to move to the solar plexus area. And if you've ever been elbowed there, it knocks the wind out of you. So this is just below your rib cage. Is the center of it's your core center. The color should be bright lemon yellow. Visit this area of your body and assess, what color does this feel like for you? Is there sun in there, or does it feel shady, overshadowed? Do you feel crowded in this area of your body? And this would be backed up by having stomach issues, digestion issues. So we're going to try to breathe in. We're not going to try, we're going to do. We're going to breathe in healthy lemon yellow into your solar plexus. And you're going to breathe out anything that feels kind of brown or even black. These are other people who have labeled you. Breathe that out. Breathe in healthy lemon yellow, and we're still going to breathe out. It's a lack of identity, because who I was taught that I was doesn't feel so good. I want to know who I truly am at soul level. Breathe in healthy lemon yellow into your solar plexus. I am that I am. I am love. I belong here. I am strong. Nope, everyone's not believing it. Breathe in bright, healthy lemon yellow. And I'm going to move some stuff around for you. And allow yourself to breathe out lemon yellow. Now we're going to take it up a notch. I want you to imagine breathing in the power of the sun into your solar plexus. And feel your solar plexus expanding, radiating the power of the sun. That did it. And smile, because you are so loved. Your spirit guides, creator knows you by name. You are special. Breathe in and out, bright, healthy, lemon yellow, sunshine. Yes, I am that I am, and I am love. My energy may never be destroyed. I promise myself to stand in my own unique pillar of light. No one else can be there but you. Beautiful. We're now going to move to the heart center. So move up a floor and occupy your heart space, the center of your chest. What does it feel like in here? Is it bright? Is it dark? Do you perceive any colors? Do any circumstances come to mind? We're going to use green. So we're going to breathe in healthy. Let's go lime green. Breathe in lime green into your heart space. And breathe out heartache and heartbreak. Imagine allowing your heart to be filled with this healthy, supportive lime green energy. Breathe in lime green. Breathe out betrayal. Breathe in lime green. I'm still feeling cracked. Breathe out feeling cracked. Breathe in lime green and allow it to expand. Breathe out saying, I am love. Now breathe in and out, lime green, and allow this energy to speak straight into you. I understand that I am love itself and that I am loved even beyond my comprehension. You're breathing in and out, lime green. I invite my spirit guides to feel their loving, unconditional loving support for me right now. And breathe in and out, lime green, smiling because you are truly loved and you are born of a loving universe. We're now going to move up into the energy of the throat. The color should be sky blue. What color does it feel like for you? Now, if it happens to be cobalt, that's also okay. Do you feel stuck energy here? I actually see a sign from music notes. It is the sign that's a rest, and I see it in the throat. That might speak to you. It may not. We're going to breathe in sky blue light, and we're going to imagine this sky blue light like it's a tornado of loving, sparkling energy. Twinkling sky blue light, dancing and hydrating, frolicking in your throat, lovingly dissolving away all of the times that you did not speak up for yourself or stand on your truth. And now breathing out all of the times I didn't speak up for myself. Breathe in sky blue and allow and breathe out sky blue with your mind on the tornado of beautiful sparkling blue light dissolving away. And forgiving all of the times you did not speak from a place of compassion when referring to yourself or of yourself. It's okay because you didn't know better, but now you do. I give myself full permission to speak my truth and stand on my truth. I love who I am becoming. I love sky blue in my throat, nurturing me, supporting my words. I am the light of the truth. Beautiful. We're going to move up to the third eye in the center of your head. The color is indigo. You can think of blueberry if that is more helpful. And here we're simply going to use a sunshine cloth or a polishing cloth. And you can imagine yourself taking this little cloth and polishing off what looks like a Tesla ball. And we're going to trust that it's getting rid of all the fingerprints and smudges and things that got in the way of our inner vision. And now we're going to take the next level up to the top of our head, to our crown chakra. And it's like being at the top of the mountain. You worked so hard to get here, and the view is amazing. Remember, monks are up in the top of the mountains. Everything up at the top of the mountains because it's closer to creator energy. It's crisp, alpine energy. How special. And the color is violet. Imagine you're seeing violet everywhere. And your spirit guides are rejoicing because right now you can actually perceive them. And they are going to give you a little message. What is your message for me, dear spirit guide? And you're simply allowing yourself to receive. And we're going to allow that message to actually drop through that crown down all the way into your heart where it's going to stay so that you can stay on this exercise and you won't lose what just occurred. Now up in that crown chakra, I am one with all that is. I am able to wield the power of this beautiful, loving, infinite universe through my nervous system. I can go anywhere at any time. I am love, I am powerful, and I am wise. I understand my infinite power may never be destroyed. My intuition is very strong, and I am learning how to work with my intuition in new ways every day. It is so. Give thanks to your spirit guides. How wonderful, but we can't stay out here. And so we're now going to kind of descend a little bit, and we're going to go back down through the third eye, through the throat, and safely into our heart. Oh, it sounds absolutely beautiful, you guys. How wonderful. I'm hearing applause. This is from your spirit team, your own higher self and your spirit team. They are rejoicing you did it. How special. Breathe into your heart space with so much love and gratitude. You did it. And breathe out healthy green. You are alive. You are here on purpose. You're wonderful and magical and special and known by name. Now take the next breath all the way down into the flats of your feet and smile on the exhale. And you can come back into this space with us. You did it.
Thank you for that. Wow. That was special. And I know I'm not the only one that's literally feeling that. It feels so good. Absolutely. And the message that I received, you are perfect.
Oh, I love it.
I heard that. And I know it sounds a little mundane, but for me, it speaks volumes.
Yeah,
And as you were finishing with the words, the powerful words, we are divine perfection. We are. And so this was a beautiful alignment of our energy. That's really what this is. So when we do this energy healing, we are directly connected to source. We are a
oh, yeah.
clear and perfect channel, it feels like.
You are source. Don't forget, we're not separate.
We're not separate.
No, that's super important.
Wow.
Yeah,
Thank you. And this is what we can do anytime we need it. What is required? We just have to pay a little attention to how we're feeling in every moment and come back to the chakras,
right. And just breathe in and out that color. So this
colors.
is so simple, it's free.
Mhm.
When something is off, just do a self assessment. Breathe in and out of each of those energy balls, imagining the color. And what does mine feel like? Oh, it feels like ick. And you breathe that out and breathe it in, and it will balance itself.
Wow. All right. Powerful tools. And it's a simple tool, but yet so powerful and profound, and really key in our times. So if we have family members that, and it with the outer world, I think, what would you say about the importance of doing this for ourselves? Because it almost, I don't want to use the word bulletproof, but it does make us solid. It makes us solid. It gives us it almost feels like the energy space is impermeable.
Hmm.
Like nothing else can get in when we are solid in this way.
Right. And the way to stay solid is by knowing you are connected to all
Mm,
that is. So the trees, the animals, your loved ones are all created from the same stuff, as are the planets, the sun. So how powerful is it to know, not guess, but know everything that is created also created you and is flowing through you at any given time.
wow.
And so you can put your hands on a tree. The tree will talk to you. It'll show you a story. Ask it to show you what it's seeing. You'll get an image, you'll get a story. I can go on forever, but that's not for here. There'll be more.
There will be more. There will be more. I just want to thank you for the process and the tools that you shared with us today. The reminders that we can shift our energy in any moment, and our awareness allows us to come back to this centeredness. It seems like it's remember our connection, strengthen our connection. Yes, it's
Yeah.
wonderful. There are ways that people can work with you. You do webinars. We've got one coming up here on this network, and there's some in the past that you've done with us. We'll make that
Mhm.
available here. It's all on this webpage. Scroll down and see this beautiful upcoming workshop with Suzy. But Suzy, this is a high heart webinar. Tell us about this. This is fascinating.
Well, I mentioned at the beginning that your heart is like your little light car. Well, your high heart or the thymus can really take you places. That is going to be our galactic connection. So we're going to be journeying and we're going to be interacting with our galactic root races. So I do have to tell you that you have a whole bunch of Pleiadian light codes around your head. And I think that got activated when you were in Mount Shasta because they're still there. And as you open up, more will present themselves to you. So we're going to be going through here and journeying. So we're going to you will meet your galactic guides and you will get some good information to bring back with you when we come back into the body. Very, very powerful stuff.
Very cool. I am really looking forward to that, and I thank you for sharing your wisdom. Um, when we were in this, I felt a lot of support there. So what you shared resonates, and I love
I'm
it.
so glad.
All right. Well, time with Suzy Woo in an online webinar. It is such a gift. You can feel her energy. And when you join her in a webinar, you get Suzy. You can ask her any question. She'll give you her direct intuition for you and advice and guidance for you and what she sees. And it's a wonderful opportunity to get closer to this wisdom from this medical, intuitive, and galactic consciousness medicine expert. Wow, that is very cool. I am so glad that you stepped into your power. You are like dynamite. You really are. And so if we learn from your experience, having to get out of a marriage after 22 years, I do commend you for that. And I wonder, I mean, I do want to ask, what was that like for you? How did you step up? I mean, were you doing energy work that is how
Oh
you were
no,
empowered? Okay, that was
none,
before you
none.
stepped in.
Yeah, and I did it all myself. I didn't do therapy, I didn't do counseling, I didn't do anything. I just jumped into astrology. I jumped into astrology and I started to study the charts of criminals and I learned about the terms narcissist and empath. And one
Ah,
thing led to another and being a Scorpio rising, I didn't trust anything or anyone. I needed to evidence it for myself. So then as I
yes.
got into energy healing and you Google it, it'll say it's like pseudoscience. And I'm like, I knew it. But then I went to somebody who I was learning astrology with, and she was teaching energy healing. And I was like, oh, this makes sense. So one
Yeah.
thing led to another. But, my motto out of that is find yourself, love yourself, be yourself, and be proud. So I help anybody wherever they're at to come into balance and to really plug into who they are at soul level, even if we have to detonate your solar plexus to do it.
Yes. All right. That is beautiful. It's almost like you're kind of like reconstructing us around these energy systems so that we can be fully online. Love
Yeah.
yourself, and be proud. I love
Yes.
that. Another sticky note, worthy of a sticky note on your computer or in your office or on your refrigerator, wherever we can
Mhm.
see that always, because it is empowering. Suzy, it's always so fun to be with you. Your energy is contagious, and you have
Thank you.
uplifted us today, and we feel clean, supported, strong, confident, and full of self-love.
The
Thank you.
best. Thank
As
you
we say
so
goodbye,
much. I
I
love
want
working with you and Neo Network.
Yes, I love you too. We love you here too. So as we say goodbye, I want to give you a moment for final thoughts.
Okay. Remind yourself that you are made of everything, like we just talked about. You are never separate. When you start feeling separate and that you're all by yourself and nobody understands you, go back into your heart. Let your heart space expand. Put your feet on the ground barefoot and imagine a nice white pillar of light going all the way through you, out of you, and out into outer space. Your spirit guides will join you there and they will help fill you when you start feeling low energy, inadequate, and you don't know how to pull back together. So I'm loaded with tools. My biggest saying is you're only as good as your tools. So I'm loaded with tools. So remember your colors to bring yourself into balance. And you can play with tuning forks and sound healing as well. All kinds of tools to help you to stay in balance. Find yourself, love yourself, be yourself, and be proud. And I love every one of you. I look forward to working with you and anybody on here who would like to work with me individually as well. We've got some powerful packages available here.
Yes, and so scroll down right here on this webpage or wherever you're watching this video. In the description box, there'll be a link for this special offer. Sign up for it. This is really magical. When you work with Suzy, again, you can literally ask her anything. It's a great opportunity to learn about that huge toolbox of tools that Suzy has. Thank you so much, Suzy.
Thank you, Lauren.
Love yourself, be
Find.
yourself,
Find yourself.
find yourself, love
Love
yourself,
yourself. Be
be
yourself.
yourself,
And be
and
proud. Yeah.
we got this, everyone, and nobody and nothing or no place can take it from us.
That's
Suzy,
right.
you have uplifted us, and the world has changed because of that. Let's let this love radiate out to everyone in our field, and may we even be more in tune to our guides who are with us in this moment. Thank you so much, Suzy.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.